Hi, this is Matthew Cancelo, and in this video I want to try to explain why it may be hard for us or take a long time for us to get out the door on time. Oftentimes what makes us slow in getting ready is wanting to be sure that we have everything that we need, but also having the right shirt on. And I really don't take a whole lot of time in this, maybe half the time, but other times I find myself taking a stressful moment deliberating, okay, what's the right shirt? I mean, obviously my favorite color is blue, and if I do wear blue, what type of blue? Light blue, teal blue? And right now I'm going to summarize what I said 5 years ago and to speak more concisely. Basically, the type of shirts that I wear, the color that I wear, it depends on the occasion. Right now it's summer, so I usually wear a shirt like this during the summer when I do walks along the beach every summer now. Unlike 2020, I would wear these shirts that are more floral, if you will. It's hard to explain. And then sometimes I choose shirts that have a memory to it. For example, this shirt I wore on July 13th, 2013 at a family reunion, so it's forever associated with a summer month. And then other shirts are associated with New Year's or October, November. And I have this patriotic shirt that I wear for Memorial Day, Veterans Day, 4th of July, Flag Day and such. Also, there's another shirt that I wear right here for patriotic holidays because it's red, white, and blue. And also, this was the shirt that I wore in my 11th grade photo, so this takes me back to 11th grade. Other shirts take me back to let's say 2015, and others take me back farther. As I said in my original video in 2020, I would wear blue shirts during analytical chemistry lab or when I was a chemist that summer. And that's because analytical chemistry, aqueous solutions, water, and then I worked in a lab that dealt with the coastal regions, so I'm thinking water, blue, summer theme. And then I have some blue shirts that are long sleeve that are more for January, New Year's time. So going back to wearing red, white, and blue for patriotic holidays, I also think what's the occasion. And if there isn't an occasion, I find myself just picking a shirt. Oh, it's summertime, I'll pick one of these shirts. I don't really care anymore. But still in the back of my mind, I think, well, I want to wear a shirt that represents something. It's kind of like picking the right tie for such an occasion. I may choose this red shirt if it has something to do with medicine or the medical field or first aid for my own personal associations that I have. For instance, I wore this on the first day and the last day of my emergency medical responder classes. And then if I make a YouTube video, I might think of the theme. And if it's one of those videos where I'm exposing discrimination or ableism or something painful that happened, I might choose to wear a black shirt, and I have, if you go back to my YouTube videos in the past 4 years. And sometimes if it deals with school or education, I choose this green shirt because for whatever reason, a dark green like this takes me back to kindergarten class. I don't know why. But if you look at me in the eyes in this video, I am the first to acknowledge how immaterial that a lot of this is. Because not everyone's really going to care or notice exactly what shirt I'm wearing and why I chose it. Unless it's 4th of July, of course. And I don't really deliberate for an hour or even a couple of minutes. I don't really do that. Maybe a few moments at that. And now on to making sure that I have my watch, my hat, and everything in my pockets. And sunglasses, of course. I rarely take time wondering what type of hat I should wear because I have quite a few, and more formal occasions I take my time and such, which gets a little enervating. I always make sure I have my wallet, of course. I always make sure that I have pens. Having multiple color pens is great for people like me who want to be a teacher and want to point things out. And just a 2025 update, this is kind of what I carry all the time now in my pants pocket. And yes, as a substitute teacher, several students have commented about this. I usually have a black and blue gel pen, a black and blue ink pen, a black and blue calligraphy pen. I only have black, the blue one ran out, a highlighter, and a pencil. And as an autistic, I can't explain it. I just want to be prepared for everything, to highlight something or to write something in Gothic calligraphy, maybe to share with somebody a talent I could do and maybe help teach them how to do calligraphy, which I have at Royal Rangers to a boy one time. Or if a pencil is better than a pen, because I also tutor, so it's always good for students to have an eraser. I try to have at least 2 colors, blue and black, in case I needed to point something out, write something in black ink and then highlight, if you will, in a blue ink pen. And same reasons for having different color markers if you're teaching a lesson or tutoring students.
It's always good to have extra colors to like highlight a few things or to distinguish steps in a solution. I used to carry some type of flash drive for the past 10 years and such. I don't always necessarily do that because I have an SD card in my camera here, and the camera that I'm holding now I always have in my pocket. It's a compass, just in case somebody, I'm walking around the neighborhood and somebody wants to know how to use a compass. In fact, I typically wear this every time I'm walking around the neighborhood and such. Who knows, maybe somebody's in Boy Scouts, or maybe somebody happens to be in Royal Rangers, or just a person that just wants to know how to use a compass. I always have a first aid kit, a pocket-sized one. It just got too cumbersome, but I used to have a big bulky red first aid kit, and you can see in this photo here, this is at Royal Rangers, and I would wear it on the outside because my pockets are filled. Going to school, going to college, going on errands, going to church, anywhere, I would always carry that big red one in my pocket, and it just got too cumbersome after years and years, so I just downsized to a pocket-sized one. I mean, just in case. I mean, I'm a Royal Ranger, I'm always ready, so even if I'm out in the neighborhood or so, and for some reason a person comes up interested in survival skills and such, I'd be more than happy to help them, or just do coin tricks or rope tricks. I showed this to them. I asked how many pieces are tied together. They say 3, and right before their eyes I could take this and make it into one big long rope with only 2 ends instead of 6. And another rope trick that blows people away is a little slip knot that I'm able to make.
So like nowadays, if I'm walking around the neighborhood, or if I'm in a classroom or at Royal Rangers somewhere, and it's like I need to do a coin trick or something, I have them in my pocket, and it's like, here's 3 coins, pick one of them at random, make sure it's a real coin, and now give it back to me. I'll put it in my pocket, and then I have 2 left, right? Well, now I have all 3 of them, and then afterward I'd have them help me on a coin trick. You see the quarter and such, and all I have to do is just blow and it's gone.
And talking about tricks, I almost always would carry a deck of cards for card tricks and such. This is pretty much what I have now, but I used to carry, give or take, 3 times more in my pockets for years and years. Like, here's a picture from 2012 of what I would always carry in my shirt pocket. I would have like a book or 2, the New Testament, Psalms and Proverbs I believe was in there, and a whole bunch of different pens and highlighters and such. I would wear jackets that had pockets inside. I would put highlighters and pens just in case somebody needed an extra pen and such. Sometimes I just never got to do that for years. I may have a few times, but probably forgot. I want to help humanity. That's why I do. I'm just a little worried that the day that I don't bring any of this stuff and I need it, and that has happened a few times, like whether it's sheet music, and it's like I had a perfect opportunity to play piano. Again, I would carry more things years ago before I just downsized and just allowed myself to breathe and just let it go and everything.
Kind of bit like when people color code. Well, I kind of bit have a certain pocket for certain things. I mean, for example, nowadays, like, my wallet is in my upper left pocket, and my camera that I'm holding right now is in my upper right pocket, because I'm right-handed, and something happens and I'm able to document history, or what are the chances, but if something happens and I need my camera, I pull it out from my right hand, and because I'm right-handed, it's easier to like turn on and point and zoom and all that. Should it be in this pocket? Should the first aid kit be in that pocket? I mean, and everything, and then pretty soon it just became like, through repetition, just developed a memory. It's like, oh, this goes here, that goes there, and such, and I know where everything's at. Another thing that became a burden was going to doctor's appointments, because if I didn't remember ahead of time, right before I get on the scale, I'm like, oh no, and I have to like empty out all my pockets in front of the nurses, and yeah, sometimes they laughed and sometimes they didn't, but anyway, I just tell myself, if I'm going to a doctor's appointment, I'll just put, keep everything in a bag and put it in my backpack or tote bag or something, as long as it's nearby, because that literally probably added maybe 4 or 5, maybe 10 pounds or something. So therefore, I got the nickname Dennis the Menace, because I used to carry a lot more things, like maybe 3 or 4 times more things in my pockets every single day. Just got so cumbersome. I learned to, like I said before, allow myself to breathe and just move on and such. Don't let this be a burden and everything. And I think I am able to, in a physical sense, actually breathe even better. There's still a part that makes me a little stressed or tense, because it's like, well, I don't have everything that fast and easy. Okay, so nowadays I typically wear a backpack instead of like bringing tote bags or whatnot, or I just usually put everything in the backpack. That also alleviates my pockets and everything. And I find myself just standing there, even if I'm in a hurry. I slowly walk to the door, and I'm contemplating, like, I don't want to forget everything. Do I have everything? Do I have all my notebooks? Do I have my folders? Do I have at least a couple of pieces of sheet music just in case, which is very inevitable. Anyway, do I have everything? Do I have everything I really need, like for lab or for schoolwork or something? It's especially rough when I'm going like 80 miles away to San Diego, and it's like I definitely don't want to forget anything if I'm going really far, whether it's like 10 or 20 miles or 80 miles. And that gets me to tend to bring a lot of things that I don't need, and frankly I'm never going to use over there. It's just, it makes me rest assured that I bring it. Thank you very much for listening and making it this far. I very appreciate it, and I just hope that you remain strong and have an excellent day.